Sunday, May 6th, El Clásico proved to be one of those absolute barn burner of a matchups between Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. As is the case with Real Madrid playing Barcelona, it always comes down to an analysis of the individual accolades between both Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, who respectively have won five Ballon d'Ors each. These two players are not mortal. A lot is given in between who is the best here, who's the best which season. All that has been put aside for this rivalry match that happened at the Camp Nou on Sunday, May 6th. Barcelona have enjoyed an incredible season in La Liga so far. They have gone undefeated throughout the course of this La Liga campaign. Real Madrid have faltered, extremely so, throughout the course of the domestic campaign, but they have been their usual lion/poachers in the Champions League campaign. What's baffling is that both sets of fans have something that's truly incredible to cheer for. The Barcelona hopeful are very proud of their team's incredible La Liga campaign, and also Real Madrid, a record third consecutive Champions League final. That's unheard of. But what it really boils down to is, what piece of silverware do the fans value the most? There was an interesting quote from Jose Mourinho himself when he was asked about a response to a Pep Guardiola quote where they were kind of analyzing the difference between which trophy is better to win. No trophy is unimportant. It's a trophy for a reason. It's a cause for celebration. Jose Mourinho reflected back and he said, whichever trophy I win, that's the one that wins the most. And that is a pretty funny quote from the special one himself, who of course is the former Real Madrid manager. So let's talk about what happened in today's game. Barcelona opened up the scoring at the 10th minute mark from a great cross by Sergio Roberto that Luis Suarez perfectly finished off a half volley into the Real Madrid net. At the 10th minute mark, Barca were up 1-0. As you know, the El Clásico is a high-scoring affair usually, and Real Madrid weren't ones to back down from a challenge. Cristiano Ronaldo, being the goal scorer that he is, actually injured himself in scoring the equalizing goal against Barcelona at the 14th minute mark, 4 minutes after Luis Suarez had opened the scoring. Ronaldo would end up actually staying on the pitch up until the halftime, where he was subbed off for Marco Asensio. Asensio himself has enjoyed a great patch of goal scoring against Barcelona, especially with those two crazy goals that he scored in the Supercopa of Spain to start Ernesto Valverde's Barcelona managerial career. The game was very end-to-end, but I found that Real Madrid was very comfortable in dictating the play at Barcelona. This is something that most people aren't accustomed to seeing, given that Barcelona is an incredible team. Firstly, they're playing at their home, and they are not shy about how they get the ball further and further up the pitch. It's essentially, back even when Guardiola was the manager, that this team would just create so many passes, a la the tiki-taka style, and then the creativity of the players would be kind of ushered into the final third. This was very baffling for Barcelona, as right at the edge of halftime, Barcelona right back Sergio Roberto appears to have made a smack or slap, if questionable, on Marcelo that resulted in a straight red by the referee. The referee showed no hesitancy, and I feel that it was a great call, solely because if you don't go ahead and snip these actions in the butt, these things can escalate. And the last thing you want is another eye-gouging El Clásico, such as the one where Mr. Jose Mourinho poked then assistant manager of Barcelona, Tito Vilanova, rest in peace, in his eye, and that, pardon my language, created an absolute disgrace of a game. This is football at its highest playing capability, so once a player goes down, the channels become a lot more open. What's interesting is that Barcelona started the formation with a 4-4-2. Philippe Coutinho actually was playing on the right-hand side in accommodation of Andre Iniesta, who is calling an end to his Barcelona career, and this was his actual last Clásico. He was playing on the left. I noticed that Philippe Coutinho was having a pretty difficult time in catching up with Marcelo, who is the Real Madrid left back, as their overlapping resulted in a lot more channels for Marcelo to go exploring up further into the pitch. With Sergio Roberto getting sent off, Barcelona manager decided to take off Philippe Coutinho, and he replaced him with Semedo, who is a right back. Bring the game into a little bit more of a controlled space. However, this doesn't mean that Barcelona was going to go out and stop and not pursue their goal scoring that they're known for. Funny enough, off a Real Madrid counterattack, that Asensio had a phenomenal opportunity to pass the ball to Bale, who was making an overlapping run. Sometimes you have to be selfish and shoot, especially if you're in a good position as an attacking player. And Asensio decided to shoot. That ball on that exact counterattack resulted in Lionel Messi going the opposite direction and putting the ball in the back of Real Madrid's net to give him a 2-1 advantage at the 52nd mark. Barcelona found themselves up 2-1 at home with a man-down situation against Real Madrid. Real Madrid were always going to go out and try to press and try to score. Funny enough, this game was starting to get out of hand. There were, I believe, 9, yes, you heard me correctly, 9 cards dished out for fouls and late challenges and just general lippy behavior between the two greatest teams in Spain. Funny enough, Sergio Ramos, I found, was the one Real Madrid player that the Barcelona players were kind of targeting to irritate. Ramos and Suarez went on a little bit of a head-on collision in between, just a little shoulder-to-shoulder action, and it resulted in a little bit of a lippy behavior from both players, and literally, figuratively, whichever one suits your preference, right after that, Sergio Ramos had the audacity to try a Johan Cruyff, former Barcelona legend, mentor, coach, manager, absolute hero of a footballing player, an icon of the game. He tried to imitate a Johan Cruyff turn on Lionel Messi, and Lionel Messi, he isn't exactly known to be the biggest or the most scrappy guy, but he nipped out Sergio Ramos's audacious, cheeky attempt of going for the unbelievable there. Real Madrid, and especially Zinedine Zidane, realizing the opportunity that they've been gifted in going out and being able to try to destroy some of the Barcelona hope of going an undefeated season, made a lot of pretty key tactical substitutions. For example, Nacho who was firstly playing in the right back position as a replacement for Dani Carvajal, who was injured, was substituted off, and Lucas Vázquez was introduced onto the pitch. Vázquez allowed for a lot more width to be going on the right-hand side of Real Madrid's attack, and that effectively allowed for the Real Madrid attacking players such as Karim Benzema and Gareth Bale a freedom in their positioning in the final third. Very important, because 20 minutes after Leo Messi scored at the 52nd, Gareth Bale scored a one-touch, perfectly placed finesse that was truly incredible into the back of Barcelona's net. It was a great goal, and it resulted in the game to have a 2-2 scoreline. Now, that scoreline would stay until the conclusion of the game, but in my opinion, Barcelona, I felt, were not at their usual best, and I believe Cristiano Ronaldo coming off the pitch at halftime really limited and hindered Real Madrid's ability to pursue on for another goal to try to win the game. The game was scrappy, as most Clásicos are, but it was very cool to see Andre Iniesta receive the reception that he did as he came off the pitch for Paulinho in his last ever La Liga El Clásico, or Champions League El Clásico. These things happen from time to time. It was a great match. Barcelona will most likely, because you never know what's going to happen, end the season as La Liga champions that's already set in stone. But as the Liga champions who went through an invincible season, bragging rights were shared, and both teams have had their respective seasons, and I'm sure Real Madrid and Zinedine Zidane, and especially Cristiano Ronaldo, will have their eyes set on the European prize as the UEFA Champions League takes place. The UEFA Champions League final takes place 20 days after Sunday, May 6th, and I'm sure Cristiano Ronaldo will be hoping that his late ankle sprain heals up so that we can see that truly mouth-watering fixture between Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool and Zinedine Zidane's Real Madrid. Sunday, May 6th, El Clásico shaped out to be an absolute barn burner of a matchup. And to be honest, it was never going to be billed as a dull fixture, and all 97,939 fans of both teams at the Camp Nou were treated to an absolutely phenomenal game that was truly end-to-end and could have gone either way. The points were shared, but the real winner here were the fans and the pundits. If you're enjoying our content, feel free to give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as finding us both on our Facebook and our Instagram pages. Both are at Footballtalkstv. Instagram.com/Footballtalkstv, Facebook Footballtalkstv. We're going to have a lot of interesting content coming up for this year's World Cup previews, a lot of analysis on both the significance of results that happened, why they're important, what can we talk about them, and most importantly, in the off-season we'll be addressing transfer rumors, as that is a rumor mill that definitely needs to be addressed.